All right, let's get into it. Welcome to today's breakdown. We are discussing a genuinely landmark transformation in retirement benefits. And honestly, this is something that could meaningfully reshape your entire financial situation. So, if you are already retired, if retirement is just around the corner for you, or really if you have spent any portion of your career working in a public sector role, we are talking education, firefighting, law enforcement. You are going to want to pay very careful attention to this because the Supreme Court very recently delivered a unanimous ruling regarding the Social Security Fairness Act. And the implications here are truly enormous. So, let us walk through exactly what took place, why it carries such tremendous weight, and most importantly, the concrete practical steps you need to take right now to claim what is legitimately yours. So here's a question worth sitting with. Has the government been holding back your retirement? Now, for decades, for many dedicated public servants out there, the honest answer to that was unfortunately yes. You might have actually found yourself in this very situation where your anticipated Social Security payment was dramatically reduced. Or perhaps your survivor benefits were eliminated entirely. No advance notice, just gone. But recently, a unanimous Supreme Court decision completely transformed this reality. And think about that for a moment. A unanimous decision. When every single justice sitting on the Supreme Court reaches full agreement on something regardless of their individual judicial perspective, it signals one thing with absolute certainty. The legal foundation here was undeniably and completely rock solid, and we genuinely need to discuss the scale of this because it is truly staggering. 3.9 million. That is the number of Americans who have been systematically denied their fully and honestly earned benefits over the past 40 years. Just let that sink in for a moment. Nearly 4 million people. We are talking about committed teachers and grieving widows who were completely caught off guard by these complicated bureaucratic regulations. People who were essentially told, hey, sorry, your calculated benefits are technically accurate. These are individuals who worked extraordinarily hard. They paid their taxes. They served their local communities with genuine dedication, only to end up being penalized by the very same system they placed their trust in. It is truly remarkable. Now, what is particularly important about this section is the 40-year injustice. To truly understand how we arrived here, we need to look backward, right? So, the first major problem here was something called the Windfall Elimination Provision, or the WEP. This was quietly inserted into federal law all the way back in 1983. And what it did was reduce earned Social Security benefits for workers who also received a government pension. Now, the original reasoning behind it was supposedly to recalibrate benefits for higher earners. But in reality, it told a completely different story. It heavily penalized everyday public servants. Consider this scenario. You have a firefighter. They retire following 30 years of demanding service. But they also worked private sector jobs during summers over the years and consistently paid into Social Security. Well, under the WEP, those earned Social Security benefits were dramatically cut. Why? Simply because they also had a completely separate public pension. They followed every rule correctly and they still ended up losing out. And then there was the government pension offset, the GPO. Now, this provision was especially devastating because it specifically targeted spousal and survivor benefits. Imagine a public school teacher. Her husband spent his entire 35-year career working in the private sector, contributing to Social Security from every single paycheck. When he tragically passes away, instead of receiving the survivor's safety net that the system explicitly promises to surviving spouses, her benefit is reduced by 2/3 of her own monthly pension amount. And for the overwhelming majority of surviving spouses, this harsh bureaucratic calculation eliminated their survivor benefit entirely. They received absolutely nothing. So let us examine the broader impact of this across the entire nation. You have the WEP, which targeted the honestly earned personal benefits of 3.2 million Americans, and then you have the GPO, which targeted the essential survivor benefits of an additional 700,000 people. For decades, advocacy groups battled this relentlessly. It was a constant and exhausting struggle. Legislation would get introduced and then simply stall in committee. And every single year, an entirely new group of retirees would step away from their careers, completely blindsided by these calculations, discovering their retirement looked nothing like what they had planned. Which brings us to the unanimous Supreme Court victory. This is where things become truly encouraging. All right. So, in late 2024, Congress finally and at long last passed the bipartisan Social Security Fairness Act, which fully repealed both the WEP and the GPO. But naturally, legal challenges emerged, threatening to delay the entire process. But then the Supreme Court stepped in and delivered that decisive unanimous ruling, a decision with full agreement. All 9 justices concurred, but the repeal stands and it stands with immediate effect. And this is critical because a unanimous ruling eliminates literally every trace of legal uncertainty. It completely shuts the door on any bureaucratic delays, any legal workarounds, or any government hesitation. The money is legally guaranteed. So what does this actually mean for you in practical terms? Well, we are looking at an estimated $360 to $1,190 monthly benefit increase for those affected by the WEP repeal. And let us be straightforward, for retirees living on fixed incomes, this is not simply some minor little tweak. That amount of money represents a significant financial lifeline. It is quite literally the difference between barely getting by and actually experiencing your retirement with genuine dignity. Additionally, and this is substantial, many people are owed retroactive back payments. That means a meaningful lump sum could potentially be headed your way very soon. So, who exactly does this affect? Well, let me ask you directly. Did you work as a teacher in a state like California, Colorado, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Ohio, or Texas outside of Social Security coverage? Were you a police officer or a firefighter with a separate municipal pension? Or perhaps you are a surviving spouse who received a reduced benefit or no benefit whatsoever due to the GPO. If you or someone close to you matches any of these specific descriptions, this historic ruling directly affects your financial future, and you need to pay careful attention to what we are covering next. Moving forward to your 3-step action plan. Now that the legislation has changed, here is precisely what you need to do. Listen carefully because this is absolutely essential. While the system has corrected itself on a legal level, you cannot simply sit back on your sofa and wait for a payment to arrive in your mailbox. The Social Security Administration system is under enormous pressure right now. They are processing massive volumes of updates, and they are not going to automatically locate every qualifying individual right away. So here is your action plan to take immediate control and move past that slow-moving bureaucracy. Step 1, review your SSA account online. Step 2, contact the SSA directly by phone. And Step 3, organize your pension and tax documentation. Let us break each of those down. Step 1, review your official SSA account online. You want to log in and look specifically for any changes to your estimated benefit amounts. If your amount has recently increased, that is genuinely good news. The Fairness Act is actively working in your favor. But, and this is an important point, if it has not changed and you are certain you qualify for this, do not assume they are simply working through the backlog behind the scenes. If you do not notice a change, treat that as an urgent warning signal. It means you must act immediately and move to Step 2. Which brings us to Step 2. Contact the SSA directly by phone. Now, I am going to be straightforward with you here. The hold times are likely going to be considerable. You might genuinely have enough time to read through a short book while you wait, but you must remain patient and you must stay persistent. Enduring a lengthy phone hold is a very small inconvenience when we are discussing recovering money that was unfairly withheld from you for 4 decades, right? And when you do reach someone, keep a thorough written record. Document the date, the time, and the full name of every single representative you speak with. Maintain a paper trail throughout the process. Step 3, organize your documents before you even pick up the phone or before you visit a local office. You need to have your paperwork completely in order. Have your government pension statements and your records of any Social Security covered employment ready and accessible. Why? Because having every relevant document prepared removes any possible reason for the agency to delay processing your specific claim. Do not give them any justification to place your file at the bottom of the stack. Now, a brief note for those of you who are approaching retirement in the near future. This new ruling fundamentally changes your planning strategy because the WEP and GPO essentially no longer exist. Much of the earlier financial guidance you may have encountered, such as delaying your filing because of the WEP, is now completely outdated. The entire calculation framework has fundamentally shifted. So you really should consult a fee-only fiduciary financial advisor who genuinely understands this entirely new post-Fairness Act environment. You need to sit down and recalculate your ideal filing strategy from the beginning with accurate current numbers, and this naturally leads us to an important warning. We must discuss the concerning side of this news. Whenever there is a significant movement of money like this, those with harmful intentions are paying very close and careful attention. Fraudsters are highly coordinated, they are remarkably sophisticated, and they are actively positioning themselves to steal your new back payments and increased benefits. You need to remain on high alert. You might encounter deliberately crafted fake websites designed to appear identical to the official SSA site. You might receive authoritative-sounding phone calls or emails featuring official-looking government branding, urging you to click a link to supposedly release your funds. Make absolutely no mistake, these are deliberately engineered traps specifically designed to steal your identity and your hard-earned money. So, please commit these guidelines firmly to memory. The Social Security Administration will never contact you unexpectedly to collect personal information. They will never send you an email requesting your banking details, and they will absolutely and categorically never demand a processing fee to release your funds. It simply does not operate that way. If anyone contacts you claiming any of these things, end the call immediately. Delete the message. Do not engage with them for even a moment. Instead, you need to take direct control of the situation. If you need to reach them, go directly to the official SSA website by typing the address into your browser manually or call their official verified phone number. Always be the one initiating contact yourself. Taking the initiative to reach out on your own terms is quite literally the only reliable way to protect the retirement you spent a lifetime building. Do not allow someone with bad intentions to take away what the Supreme Court has just restored. So, to bring everything together, this unanimous Supreme Court ruling truly is a historic conclusion to a 40-year struggle. But as one source so aptly observed, justice delivered by a court still has to be claimed by a person. You must take action. Take action starting today. Review your accounts. And please be sure to share this breakdown with any retired colleagues, friends, or family members, particularly public servants or surviving spouses who may be owed money. It really does make you think, does it not? With decades of withheld benefits finally being returned to millions of people, how will this significant influx of financial resources reshape the retirement landscape within local communities throughout the country? It is a profound transformation. In any case, thank you so very much for spending this time with me today, and I will see you in the next breakdown.